Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, city volunteers in the United States are continuing with the relief work to help hurricane survivors. To celebrate the coming Doctor's Day in Taiwan, we begin a new series of feature reports on hardworking medical staff around the island. And in our regular look at Taiwan's unique trades, we meet the crew of a refueling tanker that provides petrol to needy vessels. First up in the United States, the South Toms River is another disaster area severely hit by Hurricane Sandy. Its mayor, Joseph Champagne, formed a special affinity with Tzu Chi as he recently took part in the musical of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude to Parents in New York. After the superstorm, Tzu Chi volunteers conducted a disaster survey and held a relief distribution over last weekend.
Situated in the south of New Jersey, the Jersey Shore was one of the most devastated areas. Also a coastal city, South Toms River is home to some 3,000 people. Despite the poverty gap, all the residents are faced with this difficult task of rebuilding their homes, and they help each other out regardless of their background.
Within such a short period of time, this is a testimony of how people are coming together in a time of disaster.
40-year-old mayor of South Toms River actually has a unique connection with Tzu Chi.
It was very interesting how I met the Tzu Chi Foundation, which means compassion and relief, or some say compassion in action. I was in a play with them not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago, and I was playing the role of Anand, who is a chief disciple of Buddha. No one comes to Buddha without going to Anand, basically.
Playing the role of Anand in the Sutra of Profound Gratitude toward Parents brings Joseph Champagne closer to Tzu Chi Foundation.
And so it's very interesting that this was just entertainment in nature, and almost a week and a couple of days later was this foundation that came to our aid in South Toms River. We have been very fortunate to have the right kind of people to come to our aid, and it makes my leadership and my role as a mayor much easier.
Over the weekend, New Jersey Tzu Chi volunteers will distribute blankets and cash cards to help 450 households, giving them the much-needed assistance.
Staying in the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers have been stationing at the Rockaway Beach for 3 days now. As usual, the volunteers showed up at 4 p.m. to hand out aid supplies before leaving at 6. As another storm is expected to hit, local residents were evacuated to safer locations.
Today is the third day that Tzu Chi has been working a distribution point at Rockaway Beach. Nearly 50 residents get in line waiting to apply for Tzu Chi's emergency cash.
You need a pen? And your ID number, your name, print your name and sign and the date. You fill out the form, please stay in line. Okay. Okay.
2 days ago, there were many aid supplies here, but when the local disaster relief coordinator reckoned that the residents had picked enough aid supplies, she asked the city government to transfer the supplies to those in greater need.
We are now closed. The last people that are online right here are the last that we're able to help today. Everyone stay safe during the nor'easter tomorrow, and we'll see you at the end of the week. Thank you.
They got a lot of clothing in the last 5 days. It's going to get cold out, so any clothing donations that we're going to take are just going to be jackets. Salvation Army took all the clothes that were in piles over here on the floor. That way no clothes were wasted or were ruined during the water and the storm to come.
Today is the day of the U.S. presidential election, and it is also the 9th day after Hurricane Sandy devastated New York. The residents in Rockaway Beach still have no electricity or heat. However, they still remember to vote.
Today, I have to go vote. I have to go vote now. I'm going to walk down somewhere by the school and vote.
Even in the midst of disaster, yes, I found the time to vote. Absolutely. It's very important, and unless you have a voice and you have a vote, you can't complain about anything in the United States.
According to the weather forecast, another storm is coming. Therefore, many residents and NGOs have evacuated the area. Nonetheless, when the storm has passed, Tzu Chi volunteers will return here to serve the residents once again.
In China, Tzu Chi volunteers visited impoverished families in Guangdong and Fujian province. Upon arrival, they witnessed many families either troubled by illness or poverty. Tzu Chi volunteers went door to door, bringing each person the much-needed care and support they have been waiting for.
It is the day for Tzu Chi volunteers to visit their old friends again. An accident left Xie Jinghui bedridden for some time. Seeing that he is in pain, Tzu Chi volunteers offer him a massage. Delighted to see the Tzu Chi volunteers, this centenarian uses all her strength to get up to greet her visitors. Some of the volunteers take a grandma outside for a bit of sun, while others clean her room. Once the room had been cleaned, volunteers help the grandma back inside to rest. Despite being diagnosed with cancer, Xu Biyu has learned to live at peace with her illness for the sake of her two daughters.
Most people are frightened after being diagnosed with cancer and worry over how many more days they will be able to live. But my attitude is like this. After I was diagnosed, I tell myself every day, I'm glad to still be alive. I have earned another day. Thank you, God.
Learning to be grateful in times of adversity, the love from the volunteers encouraged her to look forward with optimism. This 90-year-old grandma lives alone, but Tzu Chi volunteers will visit regularly and help her clean her home. In Guangdong's Shantou, Tzu Chi volunteers bring love and hope into the homes of the sick and suffering.
Let me give you a tip. If you encourage and support him more, he will have more confidence in himself.
Arriving at the home of this 85-year-old senior, the volunteers give comfort to the senior and his wife by talking them out of their despair over the poor health of their son. Arriving at the nursing home, everyone gathers in a circle to marvel at this senior's talents. To all the care recipients, Tzu Chi volunteers are not only their friends and family, but a spiritual companion through life.
To become a certified Tzu Chi commissioner, one needs to undergo a series of training classes. Here in Indonesia, a certification ceremony took place on November 4th at the newly built Jingsi Hall, where 332 grey uniformed volunteers were certified as blue uniformed volunteers.
A certification ceremony is held for the first time at the newly built Jingsi Hall, and the Deputy Director of the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter, Huang Rongnian, led his 95 executives and staff from Sinamass Group in the inauguration ceremony.
We hope to set a good example and hope that more people will join us to walk the Tzu Chi path of compassion together.
The strongest support for Tzu Chi in Indonesia has come from the Sinamass Group, and to become a part of the Tzu Chi family is a great honor for many.
Now that I've received my blue uniform, I will manage my time properly to ensure I can vigorously participate in Tzu Chi's activities.
332 grey uniformed volunteers are certified, and they understand the additional responsibilities and commitment that are to follow. Matthias Mansawan travels from Biak by boat and then by car in order to attend every training seminar. Although a Christian himself, Matthias's tireless efforts arises from the acknowledgement of Tzu Chi's great love and compassion.
It is similar to Christian teachings, which teach us to be kind to one another and to set examples for others.
The youngest at the inauguration ceremony are 7 Tzu Chings. This is their third change of uniform, and they are steadfast in walking the Tzu Chi path.
Master, please wait for 3 more years so we can go back and say to you,
As the volunteers sing their vows of commitment in Mandarin, the Jingsi Dharma lineage in Indonesia is growing day by day.
As November 12th is Doctors' Day in Taiwan, we begin a new series of feature reports related to doctors. First, we meet Dr. Huang Tongchun, who is an ENT doctor at the Taipei Tzu Hospital. Dr. Huang, who is known to his patients as a loving and caring person, has learned that he needs to take care of his own health to help even more patients in the future.
Every Thursday morning is the busiest day for ENT doctor Huang Tongchun.
I'm busy today as most of the patients are here for treatment and each patient takes up about 20 minutes. There are about 50 patients that made a reservation, so we have less walk-in patients today. Mostly I will work until 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon, but if we have walk-in patients, then I will have to stay until 3 p.m.
91-year-old Senior Chen, who suffers from nasal cavity cancer, recently had a treatment and is here today for her follow-up. After her surgery, Senior Chen cannot speak clearly and is worried about her health. To calm her down, Dr. Huang gives her a thorough checkup. Other than a checkup, Dr. Huang also uses an endoscope to clean the senior's wounds. As each patient takes about 30 minutes, Dr. Huang often forgets to take a rest.
I don't drink a lot of water when I'm seeing patients because I'm afraid that I might need to use the washroom a lot and then won't have enough time to spend with my patients. However, over a period of time, I found that my body started to have some problems too. Now I will force myself to drink water.
Without a balanced schedule and enough water, Huang Tongchun once suffered from kidney stones. Now he knows the importance of protecting his own health, as only with a healthy body can he safeguard the health of his patients.
Due to the ecological abundance of the land, Nature Valley has attracted many researchers both local and abroad. Its most recent guest is Alex Bloom, a young researcher from Germany, who will be staying at Nature Valley for 2 months to track the insect population there. Alex says that she is amazed at the diversity of animal life in Taiwan, which far exceeds her own country of Germany.
Under the October sun, the weather here in the countryside of Hsinchu is perfect. Alex Bloom from Germany is 27 years old. She is here at Nature Valley as part of her research on Taiwan's ecosystem and insect populations.
It's my sample plot area where I take pictures and observe the plants and insects.
It is laying eggs. It is looking for plants of the rue or citrus family. When the larvae are born, the plants will serve as a food source.
Then I'll take pictures every day and observe it, and maybe I'll be lucky enough to be here when the little caterpillar finally hatches.
Carefully researching the area, Alex records each detail, as each plays a role in the overall ecosystem.
I'm gonna be here for 2 months, so I'm curious to see how much change there's going to be in the vegetation and the bugs, insects, spiders.
Although her research area is small and the research at times slow, Alex is having the time of her life. Although Germany is 1/3 forest, the interaction between insects and plant life is not as varied and rich as that in Taiwan. Tonight will be Alex's first trip into Taiwan's forest at night.
These spiders you won't see during the day. They will hide during the day. You see it uses 2 legs when spinning its web. Most spiders don't do it this way. They use 1 leg at a time. This one will use 2 legs at once.
Taiwan has over 400 different known species of spiders, but that number is estimated to be only 1/3 of the 1,000 different species that are out there. Insects with 8 legs also include the insect commonly called daddy longlegs. Daddy longlegs look like spiders, but they are actually another species. Although like a spider, they are arthropods and arachnids, but in spiders, the head and abdomen areas are jointed, while in the daddy longlegs, they are fused together.
As well, spiders will weave webs, which daddy longlegs don't do.
It uses the leg to climb from area to area, so they need to be long. Its exterior is a metallic color. At the peak, there's a stinger. If you step on it, you will get stuck.
In the dark, wildlife comes in and out of focus, but each animal is beautiful in its own way.
Well, this looks like a tropical forest, although it's like subtropical here. And it's a lot more diverse than in Germany. It feels really nice to be here.
Throughout the trip, Alex was amazed by the animal life she saw. Such hidden treasures are what makes Nature Valley, Taiwan's first environmental trust, special. What looks like a normal piece of land is in fact a forest brimming with life, both common and unusual.
That when our cars are running out of petrol, all we have to do is drive to the nearest petrol station. But what happens when ships or ferries at sea need to refill? In fact, every harbour has a refueling tanker that goes around providing fueling services to ships in need 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. One of these supply ships can carry up to 800 kilolitres of petrol, equivalent to 40 petroleum trucks. In today's feature report on Taiwan's unique trades, we head to the Keelung Harbour and join a tanker as they top up petrol for any needy vessels. Before any vessel sails out of the harbour, they need to ensure their fuel tank is topped off for their trip. And to get petrol, they look for the refueling tanker, which is normally run by a team of 6.
CPC number 10, please get to West 12 dock. Over.
After finding a buyer and when the weather conditions are still good, the tanker then quickly gets on with the work.
Supply ships are afraid of bad weather conditions because both parties will have to negotiate, and we will need their captain or manager to make a request to stop the fueling process.
Is in charge of coordinating the fueling operation, as well as communicating with other parties. To provide the exact amount of petrol, another 2 men are needed for the job.
The diesel oil outside, how much has been added?
The pressure now is set at 2.5 kilo. Please reduce the pressure to only 2 kilo.
Inside the small cabin, Chief Engineer Cheng Wen-Ci has his eyes on the meters at all times, as he knows the wrong amount of pressure can lead to an explosion of fuel pipes, thus putting the safety of his crew and others at risk.
When we start the refueling process, we cannot leave until it is completed. The numbers we have here must match the ones outside. If the numbers are over, we'll have to file a report and may even receive a fine.
Whether it is controlling and exchanging the pipes or taking samples, nothing is too difficult for Zhang Wenhai, who has over half a century of experience at sea.
Over there, they face the harbor, so the waves are particularly strong and the ships wobble. If we have level 5 winds inside the harbor, it will be about level 8 or 9 out there. No, we all sailors don't get seasickness. I think we are all immune to it.
After the petrol is topped out, the tanker crew carefully packs away all the pipes and tools while avoiding damage to their customer's vessel. Despite the heavy labor, no one complains.
感覺這個環境就差。還好啦，已經習慣了，已經慣習了。你有沒有過很羨慕那種不用碰到油的職務？沒辦法，幹這只會幹那個船長那。
We have no other way unless we become the captain. Then we don't have to get our hands dirty.
The refueling tanker continues on its way, looking for the next ship that needs petrol. Ichthyosis is a rare genetic disorder that causes the skin to harden and flake, giving the body a scaly look. One sufferer of this disorder is Zhang Simei from Malaysia. Born in 1965, Zhang was often seen as a monster. 30 years ago, upon her first visit to Taiwan's Chang'an Medical Hospital, she was finally able to receive the treatment she needed to live a normal life. Now 65, Zhang returns to Taiwan in hopes of keeping her vision in her left eye.
Zhang Simei from Malaysia has a rare genetic disorder called ichthyosis, which causes skin to thicken into scales. 30 years ago, she visited Taiwan for the first time to receive treatment.
If the skin is dry and hard, then I can't pick up chopsticks. So if I go out to eat, then I'll bring along a moist towelette to wet my hands. After the skin is softer, I'll be able to pick up the chopsticks.
Taiwan's first reporter to interview Zhang 30 years ago picked her up, and the two spent some time touring Shenzhou Memorial Hall.
Taiwan has these cases too, but this was the first one we reported on. 30 years ago, when I visited her in the hospital, I remember that underneath her hospital bed was littered with skin flakes. It's really something I can't imagine going through.
In front of the camera, Zhang looks strong, yet she has many unspoken stories.
I just keep to myself. I knew since I was young that I was different from everyone else, so I never asked my parents about it.
This is actually Zhang Simei's 5th visit to Taiwan. This time, she's hoping to get her eyes checked to keep the vision in her left eye, as she has already lost vision in her right eye. One Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteer also joined her on this trip to Taiwan.
I hope she can be healthy and happy and return to a normal life. If I can help her, I will, but honestly, she's pretty independent.
If I go out, I'll wear a wig, clear off excess skin flakes, put on clothes and shoes. By the time I'm done, it's 2 hours later.
Due to the hassles of going out, over the years, Zhang fell into the habit of listening to Taiwan's radio broadcast for news of the outside world.
Simei, I wish you the best of health. I know you are one brave person. We have learned a lot from your bravery.
Zhang Simei wants to take the opportunity to visit Taiwan, her home away from home, for perhaps the last time, and remember all the happy faces of the guardian angels that brighten her life.
We go back to the United States at the end of our program. Despite the first snowfall in New York this winter, Tzu Chi volunteers from all around the nation are coming together to carry out relief work for displaced victims of Hurricane Sandy. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.